Okay, in this video we're going to concentrate on course management. You should always have a strategy and a plan for every hole that you play. I highly recommend using a GPS watch to help formulate a plan and also execute a plan. So the first hole we're going to play is the 11th at Pleasanton. So course management is common sense really. Identify where the danger is and identify where the miss is. So if we are going to hit a bad shot, we're going to try and miss it in the best place, which means that actually we're not going to be getting into a massive amount of trouble. So here on this 11th hole, it's obviously quite simple. The danger is left. We've got an out of bounds fence running all the way down the left hand side, and we've also got a bunker on the left hand side of the fairway. That bunker is, if I just get my watch, that bunker is a 220 carry, so I could take that on with my driver quite comfortably, but there's a load of room out on the right hand side here, and it's only, the hole is only, just bear with me, the hole is only 334 yards long, so there's no need to be hitting driver and taking on bunkers. There's a load of room out on the right hand side, and there's a bunker up there, so just hit a club that can't reach that. That's 230. So my strong hybrid can't reach that bunker, and it's given me a massive area to hit into there, either on the fairway or actually the rough on the right hand side is pretty much non-existent on this hole. So, and what I'll also do is, in my golf swing, I'll try and feel like I'm just getting ahead of it a little bit, which will promote a shot that's going to go right rather than going left. Again, just, you know, just trying to add in the percentages to try and make sure that we hit, you know, a shot that's not going to get into us racking up a big number. So aim down the right, pick your target. And that's gone right at the bunker. It'll be in the sort of semi-rough, but like I say, that rough's not that bad. It's perfectly fine over there. And, you know, we should have still probably only a wedge or a gap wedge to the green. Okay, so as we planned, we've got a little bit nearer to the bunker than I ideally planned to, but we're fine here. So we've now got 113 to middle out of a slightly chance of a flying lie. Now on this green here, again, you're looking for where is the danger and where is the miss. Now here, all of the danger is long. If you go through the back of the green, you're in a whole world of trouble. But also, if you get above the pin on this hole, you've got a treacherous putt. So the pin is actually near the front of the green. It's on the front third. So my front yardage is 97. So I'd rather be just slightly short of the green with an uphill putt than actually sort of pin eye, or even worse, past. So I'm going to play for that 98 yardage, which is just to the front of the green, but I've got the chance of a flying lie here. Now, when you have a flying lie, what I tend to do is I always basically work on the premise that it is going to jump. So I pick my club and play the shot to end up where I want it to, based on getting a flyer. If it doesn't fly, then it's just going to come down a little bit shorter here, and I'm still going to be underneath the hole. What I can't do is play a shot to go for the pin, and then it jumps and it goes right to the back of the green, which is going to cause us a problem. So again, just got to think these things through. So basically this is a 96 yard shot, but it's going to jump. So I'm going to probably play about a, I don't know, probably about an 85 yard shot, and hopefully it'll end up around the front of the green, just underneath the flag. And that's exactly what it's done. It's right on the front of the green. So again, that's given me a nice easy putt, which actually, if I'd gone past the pin, it would have left me with a treacherous putt. So we've got a chance for birdie, but we've actually given ourselves the easiest putt on the green. Okay, so I don't know whether you can pick it up on camera, but all of this here, there's a severe slope here coming down to the front of the green. So anything at the back, like I say, it's leaving such a difficult putt to judge. So you never want to be above the hole. We've we've ended up exactly where I wanted to be. So I'm right underneath the hole, coming right up the hill, and it's pretty much the best putt I could have left myself on this green. Now, with putting, you still have to think about your course management, because yes, I want to try and hole this putt, but what I don't want to do is end up here, because that's going to leave me with a very, very smelly downhill putt with probably, you know, having to hit it outside the hole, which is never a nice thing to have. So on this putt, yes, I want to give it a chance. I'm picking my target, I'm picking my line, but I'm kind of just thinking pace-wise, I'm just working on pace. I want to try and give this putt a chance, but then if it doesn't go in, it's a stress-free par. So pick your target. Yeah, it was a good effort, but again, did exactly what I said. Pace was the key thing there. And that's a very easy par without giving myself any stress or any problems, just by thinking each shot through. I'm running out of light here, so I'm going to have to sort of just talk about a few circumstances around course management rather than kind of illustrate them. But one thing I would say is, if it ever feels like you're taking a risk, then that's a massive red flag. You know, we watch the pros on the telly, and it's so tempting to try and emulate them. So, you know, there's lots of times in medal rounds where I've got a chip shot where, you know, in a practice round I probably would just get up and just clip a chip onto the green and give myself a good chance of making the putt. But a lot of times I will putt it, you know, if I'm coming across some short green or fairway onto an apron and it's puttable, sometimes I will putt it. And don't be afraid to do that, you know. Try and play the percentages all the time. If you know that chipping isn't your strong point, then I would say to you, never chip unless you've got something to go over. You know, if you can putt it, putt it. If you can get a 7-iron out and putt a stroke it with a 7-iron, you know, then do that, because, you know, you don't want to be throwing shots away with bad chip shots, fluffed or thinned or whatever. So, you know, just, you know, if you're over a chip shot and it doesn't feel comfortable but you can putt it, just putt it. You know, I'm a low handicap golfer and I've been for a long time, and I've got no shame in putting it a lot of times. If you watch my Scratch or Bust series where I film all my competition rounds, you will see on quite a few occasions that I get the putter out from off the green, because, you know, there's a very true saying that a bad putt a lot of times ends up better than a good chip. So that's very true, and it's something that I would always advocate for people to think about doing. I hope you've learned something there. You know, course management, you should always have a strategy for every hole, but then also be understanding that a lot of times that strategy will go out the window, because, you know, this is a game that you cannot play like a video game. It is going to go off strategy quite a few times, but you should always have the right strategy. And if you get into trouble, never take on too much of a risk. Just get it back into play at all times. Don't be trying to snap slice round trees, or, you know, because that's when usually you compound one error with another error. Just get it back in play and then go from there. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you found it useful. I hope you learned something. Get down in the comments. I'd love to hear from you, and I'll see you in the next video.